Yo, what's up, y'all? It's Zems, and welcome to another reaction video. Today we're gonna react to Rotten Mango's The Suspicious Death of Diddy's ex Kim Porter and the controversial tell-all book about Diddy. If you haven't already, make sure you swoop down in the description box, call that link and watch the video in entirety because I'm gonna be pausing, stopping, and talking through the whole thing. If you guys are new to the channel, my name is Zems, and welcome to the crow's nest. We are about to be on a consistent upload journey. I told you guys it was coming 5 days throughout the week, Monday through Friday. The only thing is about this Diddy trials, they're going to be 1 hour videos because they're so long. They're like 2-3 hours long, and I still have to work and do everything else in my life. But I'm telling you, Monday through Friday, consistent uploads around 3 p.m. Eastern time. Let's get it.
For 3 days in September, there is this event where the wealthiest people, they just fly in from all over the world to throw $2 billion into the water and just hope it floats. Cross your fingers. Welcome to the annual Monaco Yacht Show. But it's not just yachts being sold here. There's helicopters, personal submarines, luxury vehicles, whatever you're looking for, they have it. The average yacht price sold during the show is on average $30 million per boat, which even the $15 to $20 million, that's considered affordable. That's considered a budget boat. To get the super yachts, you're looking at 9 figures plus, and they're all lined up at the dock for you to view. Some of them have helicopters that are parked on the helipad on the yacht. Others have these indoor pools, because you're floating in the water, but you don't want to go into the water. You want to go into the water on your yacht. And they have these Greek statues just squirting water into the pool. They have libraries, onboard gardens for billionaires to relax. Some yachts even have their own wellness centers.
Why do you need all that?
There's a hyperbaric chamber. That's like a new trendy version of what's on a yacht these days. It's just when you need a lot more oxygen than what's in the air, you go into this one and get pure oxygen. There's medical suites, there's mini yachts that you can view.
I don't know why they would need it on the yacht, but I'm telling you, it works. I would not tell you guys. There's cryotherapy and there's hyperbolic chambers. If you ever get the chance to try a hyperbolic chamber or cryotherapy, please go try it out and come back. You'll be like, oh my goodness, Sims, I can't believe it. It felt different. I felt like a new person, I'm telling you.
Mini yachts, they're not really for you to yacht around, okay? Those mini yachts follow your main yacht, and they're basically U-Hauls. They have storage compartments for jet skis, or if you've got that uncle that just insists on coming, they go sleep on that little floating guest house. All the water toys are there too. Did you know jet skis, top of the line, you're looking at least $25,000 per jet ski. Or personal submarines. I didn't even know that you could get a personal submarine. The entry level ones start at just $1 million. Wow. That's not even the luxury ones. You're probably sitting on the floor of the sub. But what's $1 million when you have a $100 million boat? Every single detail on a super yacht is custom made. Drawer pulls for the nightstand, custom made. Coffee machines lined with quilted leather. Vendors are pouring champagne at the Monaco Boat Show, trying to convince you, yes, I mean, what else are you gonna do with $75 million instead of getting this vessel? Where do you summer? You need a yacht. But even in a sea full of yachts, there are a few yachts that stand out as world-class boats. The Robb Report 2022 has awarded this one a particular award of Best of the Best in the Motor Yacht over 80 meters category. It's a yacht called the Victorious, a luxury super yacht built in 2021. It's designed by Michael Leach Design. If you guys know anything about boats, he is like one of the most highly regarded firms in the UK. They're a leading player in luxury yacht design. If you care about every little stitch on your custom-made furniture on the yacht, you call Michael Leach Design. They're meticulous. They might not even take your project. They only work on 2 to 3 yachts simultaneously. That's it. The Victorious collaborated with Michael Leach Design and H2 Yacht Designs to make one of the best yachts in the world. It is a $117 million floating vessel that is nearly 300 feet long and sleeps 12 guests across 6 staterooms. But at most, if you're throwing a party, you can have 24 guests and 30 crew on board at once. But if you're like, wait, I don't really have $117 million, you can charter it for $950,000 a week.
A week?
$1 week?
$1 million a week during the winter seasons. The summer seasons are actually cheaper at $800,000 a week.
Summer is cheaper.
Because winter people want to go to the tropical climates on a yacht. Summer, you can go to Nantucket, the Hamptons.
Wow, that's very
weird.
fascinating.
That'll be the
The
opposite.
vessel will cruise the Caribbeans and the Bahamas, and during the summers, it just glides through the Mediterranean. It is an entertainer's dream. On board, you've got a large beach club, a wellness center. It has wood-burning fireplaces. One yacht company said, when billionaires get on yachts of this magnitude, their jaws still drop at the luxury.
Their jaws
It's much
are
nicer
draws.
than a 5-6-star hotel. I mean, it's crazy. It's a boat. You walk on board, there's uniformed staff waiting to hand you a warm towel, likely scented with a delicate eucalyptus blend. And when you're back from your jet ski adventure, there's staff members that provide yoga classes on the deck, sunscreen required. And by sunset, you walk over to the dining area where you have fresh food laid out by the team. And then finally, you lay down on the velvety chairs in the cinema while your hair is still crunchy with salt water to decompress. That's what's supposed to happen when you charter the Victorious for $1 million a week. Grace is a 25-year-old woman on board as crew for the yacht Victorious. They had just received news that the yacht was successfully chartered for the winter, and they're gonna hit the water. This is not just a regular rich family. That's what Grace is told. They're debriefed, and they are told this is a very rich, very famous family. I mean, the crew, they're used to working with wealthy individuals, and being discreet is very important, but they've never worked with an A-list celebrity before. So before heading into the water, the crew, they're just really excited. They want to make sure that Diddy and his family have a spectacular time. I mean, let's make the holidays amazing for them. That's the goal. It's said that they
Diddy was like, well, we're going to be renting a boat, and just make sure we have about 12 to 15 carats of baby oil. I'm like, what's our baby oil? My skin gets a little bit dry.
were potentially even filming a Hulu family reality TV show, like Keeping Up with the Combs. But Grace noticed something very strange about the Combs' time on the yacht. She thought it was gonna be like a cute family vacation. So why is it that all the girls are coming on board and there's a constant rotation of strangers and other A-list celebrities that are coming on and off board? And strangely, it appears that anytime a girl steps foot on this yacht, they get intoxicated after one tiny shot of alcohol. It just doesn't seem normal. People on the yacht would take one shot and just be sprawled out on the deck, unconscious. Other women would drink one mixed drink and they'd be falling over themselves. They would go have a panic attack. Some of them would just pass out. Grace didn't know exactly what's going on, but she has a sneaking suspicion that the drinks were laced with something. Drugs. And then it happens. December 28th, 2022, she alleges in her lawsuit that she was essayed by Sean Diddy Combs' son, Christian King Combs.
What? I thought it was just Diddy.
This is what happens
Sean-
at Diddy's yacht parties. In part one, we did a deep dive on the lawsuit that started all of this with Cassie, the hotel footage, and the Illuminati somehow gets involved. In this part two, we're gonna go in depth on the lawsuit against Christian Combs, the son, what happens at Diddy yacht parties, and the very strange death of the mother of his children, Kim Porter. In part 3, we will be going over the 13 people who have mysteriously died around Diddy, there's a very alarming pattern of the way that he reacts and responds in interviews to some of these deaths. It feels odd. And finally, in part 4, we will be going through the so-called Diddy's list, the internet allegations, the celebrity friends who are rumored to have been complicit and partaking in these crazy parties, wild accusations that Diddy is a clone in prison, the baby oil is laced, there's tunnels under his house, as well as the 120 people that are working on suing him. And some of them have since filed suit. I will leave a pinned comment for those days that those videos will go up. And with that being said, let's get into it. Out of nowhere, a $22 book hits Amazon's #1 bestseller spot for fictional books. I mean, outselling Sally Rooney, Hillary Clinton, Nicholas Sparks, which is unheard of for a debut book. Not only that, it's a pricey book. It's 59 pages for $22. And it's self-published, ranking at the top of the bestsellers list. It's even more fascinating when you factor in the part where the entire book is littered with typos. So why the hell is everybody suddenly interested in this random book? It's titled Kim's Lost Words, A Journey for Justice from the Other Side. At first glance, the book appears to be a memoir. The way it's titled, that's the impression. Kim Porter is the late ex-girlfriend of famous musician Sean Diddy Combs. She's the mother of 4 of his 7 children, and she passed away in 2018. after Cassie's lawsuit, after the feds raid Diddy's homes, after Diddy's son released a diss track on the world. This book is released September of 2024, just like right before his arrest. The book is described as being filled with, quote, alleged disturbing and graphic sexual encounters between Combs and other celebrities. The main allegations spewed in the books are Diddy had asked Kim, to use an intimate object for his bottom, and she refused, which resulted in him allegedly beating her. That's what's in the book. There are other excerpts from the book that state that Kim witnessed Diddy having intimate relationships with underage male stars in the industry. Another allegation that Diddy allegedly hit Kim with a chair. I mean, the opening line, chapter 1, the introduction, is already so salacious. Of course it's going to get people talking. The opening page reads about Diddy. He was so charming, a wolf in sheep's clothing, a devil, and I fell for it. This story must be told despite the fact that it'll hurt my children. I cannot hide it any longer. Sean Combs must be stopped.
So there were other celebrities' names being mentioned in there?
So many.
Uh-oh.
Other salacious, since gone viral excerpts from the book include, one day I found the vault where Sean kept all of his encounters with men. Yes, he kept a record of it, but that's for later. The book shoots its way to the top of the charts on Amazon, which is crazy, again, considering it's filled with these typos and some blatantly factually incorrect information, and it's just littered with names of like the biggest names in Hollywood. The timing of the book makes it go viral, and it further sparks a huge debate of who's to say if this is her book? Who even published this? Because it's not Kim Porter. Kim Porter passed away in 2018. This book is released in 2024. The book says it's written by Jamal T. Millwood for Kim Porter.
Who's
Jamal
that?
T. Millwood is not the actual name of the person who published this book. That is the name associated with this huge conspiracy. Decades ago, one of the biggest rappers, Tupac, was murdered. But there's a conspiracy that he's not actually dead. Some people believe that he's alive somewhere, living under a fake name, and one of those names is Jamal T. Millwood.
No way.
But that can't be who published it, right? The real author's name is Chris Todd. He describes himself as a producer, author, investigative journalist. He states that he is the voice for the voiceless, which, I don't know, you take it as you will. He said that he basically solved John Benet Ramsey's case, which again, I don't know, okay? But he publishes this book stating that he didn't make this all up, that this book happened to him. He said he never personally even knew Kim Porter. He claims that he received a flash drive that belonged to Kim after her death. He received it from two people that he knows are connected to the music industry. This is what he alleges. For reasons unknown to us, he said, I believe that flash drive. He's like, I believe it to be true. He states on the flash drive, there are also, quote, tapes of Diddy with celebrities in sexual situations. I don't know if he has those specifically, but he does state he has photos and other evidence on the flash drive that he has not yet released.
So he is just an author?
He is,
Journalist, investigator?
I mean,
or-
everybody has a different word for him. Some people think he's an investigative journalist. Some people think that he's a conspiracy theorist. Some people think that he's a cash grabber. It really depends.
And he claims that someone seeked him out.
Yes.
Even though he's not like a big time
No.
famous person. So, okay.
Yeah, which is interesting because why would you not just send it to, I don't know, the Rolling Stone?
I don't know. Like, my thing is, I wouldn't send it to a big company like Rolling Stone only because you don't know who knows who and who's undercover. You know, you never know who's watching. What if you send it to Rolling Stone and all of a sudden Rolling Stone sends it back to Diddy or somebody else and they find out that you sent it to them, then now your life is gone. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Maybe they try to pick somebody that will probably do great investigative work and won't be swayed by what's the outcome. That could be the reason, but I don't know. Let me know down in the comment section what you guys think, but I wouldn't send it to a big brand name label or anything like that. I wouldn't do it. Or I wouldn't send it to TMZ. I wouldn't send it to any of them. I'll send it to somebody that I know is going to get my word out, make sure my story is heard. But at the same time, people have fake names and be like, hey, I took this and it made up stuff. You know what I mean? But who knows? It could be real. I don't know what he has.
Now, I guess
Right.
some people are alleging that they wouldn't send it to big publications because it's alleged that Diddy has a lot of the big
Connections.
reporters connected to him. Now, he only received a portion of this drive with different writings that he said that he had to kind of
Psychic.
piece together in a timeline that made sense to create what he believes to be a memoir. That's what he says. He does not give any more information on who those sources are, who gave him these flash drives, how he's so sure it's real, how he fact checked it. He just says, they said they had her flash drive. I didn't ask too many questions about how they got it or where it came from. If somebody put my feet to the fire and said life or death, Is that book real? I have to say, I don't know, but it's real enough to me. Sometimes you just have to put it out there. Maybe it's not 100% of the book is true, but maybe 80% is. That is to get those people to come forward to either corroborate or deny the claims, and that helps me as an investigator to know the truth. He also says in the interview that he was asked to use the name Jamal T. Millwood. He states the T is for Tupac. Ultimately, he said it was kind of a battle. He slightly wanted to kind of use his name to get his name out there because he thought the book would blow up, but he was specifically asked by some unknown person that he never told us about to use the name Jamal T. Millwood. Ultimately, he states that the publishing of this book is almost like him being a whistleblower. Regardless of how netizens feel about the book, Kim Porter's family, friends, and ex-partner have all denied the book, stating it's all a cash grab. Amazon eventually pulls the book, stating, "We were made aware of disputes regarding the title and have notified the publisher. This book is not currently for sale in our store." But now that the book has gone viral, regardless of validity, it has people intrigued by Kim Porter's relationship with Diddy. She is often said to be the one that was the closest to him, his best friend. Netizens are wondering, was her relationship with Diddy anything like what Cassie has experienced? And how did she pass away? Danielle walks into the Vibes studio. It's like a scene out of a movie. Staffers for this famous magazine are running around screaming at this point. I mean, all you need really are papers to go flying in the air like one of those Wall Street movie scenes, which sounds dramatic, but this whole thing is very dramatic. Back then, at these major publication houses, you would have to store all of your data on servers. These servers are not, there's no cloud. These servers are not little hard drives like they are today, USB, They're massive. They're the sizes of nightstands, sometimes a dining table, and they're very heavy. 2 of Vibe Studios' servers had been stolen. Who the hell would want to steal the magazine's servers? It's heavy, it's bulky. Considering the level of security that they have in the middle of Manhattan, it's likely an inside job. I mean, it has to be.
Yeah.
And the only person that they can all think of as they're sitting there figuring out what the hell to do is Sean Diddy Combs.
What is Vibe Studio?
It's a magazine. Now, Vibe had wanted Diddy on the cover of their end of the year magazine. Danielle was supposed to be the main person on the project, and the idea was this: the good, the bad, the Puffy, because he was known as Puffy back then. The idea was to hopefully somehow convince him to get into these angel wings for one photo, and then the other photo would have him looking slightly mischievous. It'd be a split cover. Possible cover line would be, bad boy, what you gonna do? A play on the words because his company name is called Bad Boy Entertainment. They had already done the photo shoot a few months before the issue was supposed to run, and Diddy was not enthusiastic about the angel wings, but they somehow convinced him. It took a lot of energy, but he put them on, and they took the photos, and everything is going as planned. They didn't get the perfect mischievous shot, but there's a good cover in there. But the reporter, Danielle, she gets a call from Diddy asking him to see the Vibe covers before they hit the stands. And according to Danielle, the conversation goes something like this. Diddy asks to see the cover photos. Danielle responds, "I'm sorry, but that's against our policy. We never show anyone our covers.
What?
You'll be dead in the trunk of a car." Oh. Excuse me? Take it back. Danielle claims he starts laughing over the phone maniacally. Take what back? F you. Take it back right now, or I'm going to call my lawyer and you're going to go to jail. I know where you are right now. You're right on Lexington, aren't you? She wasn't in the office at the time. She was in the car. What?
That's
Like
crazy.
she knows which street that she's driving on right now?
Yes. How would he know where she is? Danielle hangs up. She's scared, but they don't make exceptions. They're not going to show him the covers. But when she turns around and goes back into her office, everybody's telling her Diddy's about to stop by. We just got called that Diddy's coming in, and it's clear he wants to okay this cover before it goes to the press. Just a few years ago, he was found guilty of threatening a New York Post photographer with a gun. Apparently, the photographer came up to take a picture of Diddy in his company car. A confrontation took place. Diddy whipped out a gun and threatened the photographer. He was found guilty, so obviously everybody at Vibe is freaking out. Now, thankfully, Vibe Studios had an external copy of the covers, but Danielle still has this reason to feel scared.
So I think he knew the policy. He knew he's going to want to see the cover, so he sent somebody ahead of time to be like, you know what? I know where you are right now, because how else would you know where she's at right now? He had to have sent somebody ahead of time because he knew the answer that he was going to get because he already knew about the policy. See, he's been in the game for a while. Like, he knows how everything works, and he tries to outplay the system. He didn't like it. He knew what was going to happen, so he probably sent somebody out there to go look at her, or he put a tracking device or something on her car. You never know. Dude is out of pocket. I don't know who he knows. He probably has some kind of cops or inside people. He probably even had people working in Vibe or something. You know what I mean? Who knows? He probably found out who's driving what car and everything else under the sun before he even went and did all that. I feel like he's one of those people that dots his I's and crosses his T's. Like, he's going to be on it before you even realize what it is that you're getting yourself into, which is scary to think about.
The cover goes live, everything goes live as planned, but the servers were still stolen. Nobody knows who. Danielle just has this weird feeling inside of her that Diddy is part of all of this.
So he did a photo shoot for this magazine. He wants to see the photo shoot, and they say, no, we cannot do that. And he blew up. That's it.
Yes, there's another instance that we're going to cover in the next episode where he was involved in a music video. He had this whole creative idea to be crucified in a music video. Last minute, he decides he doesn't want that part in the music video because he's like, maybe it's blasphemous. Yeah. The executives included it in, released the music video to the world, and Diddy beat an executive with a champagne bottle and was arrested.
He has no control of his own emotions. Like, he doesn't want to do it anymore. He just throw a tantrum. Yes. He will hurt you if you don't listen. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Beyond him threatening a photographer with a gun, Danielle has had a personal experience with Diddy involving him and his girlfriend, Kim Porter. According to Danielle, she had met with Kim Porter and two friends at this little restaurant in New York City. I mean, it doesn't appear that they were close friends per se, but they kind of run in the same circles. They're sitting there drinking their cocktails. They see Diddy walk in, which I'm sure everyone, even if they're not trying to be, they're all a little bit jealous of Kim Porter. She's dating Diddy, one of the most influential people in the industry, even at that point. So the four of the girls, they're sitting at the table. Diddy walks in. Diddy knows all four of them, but he doesn't even acknowledge Kim's friends. He just motions for Kim to pass her bag, allegedly, according to Danielle. He takes her bag, a little baguette purse, turns it upside down, emptying the whole purse. Things start clinking onto the table in the middle of this New York City restaurant. He's making a scene. He starts snatching up every single credit card that fell out while scathingly telling Kim, allegedly, you have no business being here. You need to be at home with those kids. Get home as fast as you can. Danielle said Kim Porter just grabbed all her stuff and her friends see her just get shuffled into a car that's waiting outside for her. Which is ironic because 8 years later in 2006, Diddy would be back on the cover of Vibe and he would tell Danielle, the same journalist, a woman deserves to be nurtured and taken care of. Kim taught me that. She taught me how to love. Have you ever seen Diddy's naked back? The feds probably have, but that's besides the point. His back has this giant tattoo that covers most of the surface area. It's a realistic image of a woman holding a child. So for those who are familiar, the woman is Azili Dentor from Haitian voodoo. She embodies fierce maternal love and protection. She's known for feminine power. She's passionately protecting women, children, and marginalized communities. There's a saying that's often associated with her. It goes, if Azili loves you, heaven help those who seek to hurt and destroy you. She's a protector, but she's maternal in the sense, if you come for those who she's protecting, she will turn the world upside down. She will rip her opponents to shreds. It's said that in cases of domestic violence, she is called upon to, quote, destroy the offender. She's often associated with natural disasters and forces of nature. That's how powerful she's believed to be. It's a very interesting choice for a tattoo for Diddy. But many believe this is actually the start of his downfall. Some believe that him getting that tattoo was the downfall because she will seek vengeance. And she's seeing what he's doing.
Uh-oh.
When did he get that?
In 2017, he revealed it to the world. It's unclear if he got it in 2017 though.
It looks pretty fresh.
Yes. And him and Cassie broke up 2018.
Yeah.
Diddy first meets Kim Porter at Uptown Records, which was one of the most prominent record labels in the hip hop and R&B scene. It's now part of Universal Music, but back then, Uptown Records is the place to be, and Diddy gets hired. He's working with the likes of Mary J. Blige, Jodeci, and honestly, from what I can tell by my little online research, it seems like everybody fucking hated Diddy at Uptown Records. Allegedly, the other executives would flick him off as he walked down the hallway to his desk, and they would call him Satan behind his back.
Wait, what was his role? His role there?
He was an executive.
Oh, okay. So he was he an artist then, or?
Okay, that's the thing that everybody gets confused with. Diddy was never an artist. Diddy was an executive. He started as an executive, started his own record label, and he only released his debut album after Notorious B.I.G. passed away, was murdered, which we're gonna cover in part 3. He's actually a suit, is what a lot of people called him. So he's an executive.
So he's always been behind the scenes from the first day.
Yeah.
Oh.
So he starts as an executive, and everybody hates him. Well, there's some people that like him, like Kim Porter. Kim Porter worked as a receptionist at Uptown Records in New York City, where Diddy meets her for the first time and says it's love at first sight. Diddy remembers thinking, I wasn't trying to holler at her or anything, but I was admiring her. Her lips, her eyes, her mouth, her shape, her energy. I was just thinking, I wish I had a girl like that. She kind of made me feel nervous. You know, she wasn't like a New York girl. She was a bohemian mixed with Georgia peach hospitality. I got the idea that she liked doing stuff like walking barefoot in the grass. I didn't think that I could get her to like me. You know, she was smooth, you know, like ice. She's cool, collected. She thinks before she speaks. You meet a lot of young ladies and they just don't do that. Kim was never pressed. She was always in control. He would later say, she was my muse. You know how they say it in the movies? I mean, it's corny, but beautiful. She completes me. Which can be verified with some accounts from people at Uptown Records. They said, Puff is a super achiever. Kim is all about peace, love, and life, you know? Puff finds calm in her presence. Puff was in love with her from the first time he saw her. You could tell from the way that he looked at her. Which is unfortunate because Kim Porter is dating an artist signed with Uptown Records, Albie Shore. In fact, they have a son together named Quincy. I mean, it took a few years of Diddy pursuing Kim Porter for them to finally give it a shot. And they said once they start dating, they're just inseparable. They said, we went out together, we ate together, we played together. He would want me at the office. I would want him at my shoots because she's also a model. Our bond was so tight. Diddy said life is not good without Kim Porter around. Now, side note, of course, everybody accuses Kim Porter at the time of being a gold digger, but everyone who knew her says, even if you ask about her favorite memories with Diddy, not a single one is materialistic. She says, I'm not impressed by things, not a bag or shoes or a car. I've got a lot of stuff. You know, impress me with your person. Show me that you can be a really good man. That's how you impress me.
He's a keeper.
By the time they start dating, they've got this beautiful blended family. Kim Porter has Quincy from her previous relationship with Albie Shore. Diddy has a 1-year-old son, Justin Combs, that he had with his previous partner, Misa Hilton, who was also allegedly Kim's friend. And they actually become one of the most iconic celebrity couples during that time. According to one source, some tried calling them Black Barbie and Ken. They have their little fairy tale moment where Kim gets pregnant. She's about to give birth with Christian Combs, her second son, both of their second sons. And it's supposed to be this happily ever after. Until one day, allegedly, Kim is happily pregnant, happily in this beautiful relationship. She reads on the tabloids that the father of her child, the one that she's pregnant with, is dating Jennifer Lopez, JLo. And she's like, I didn't know that we're broken up, basically, is what a lot of sources allege, that she didn't know until she read the tabloids. According to an older Essence magazine publication, when Kim was pregnant with the couple's first child, Christian, Diddy, quote, stepped out on the relationship and in an astonishing display of celebrity infidelity, took up with Jennifer Lopez. Suddenly, there was Kim Porter's man, the father of her newborn son, parading his movie star girlfriend in front of the paparazzi's flashing cameras. To all the world, it looked like he was thinking, Kim? What Kim?
How can he just flip the switch like that? Bro, you know this dude is bonkers. Like, how do you do that? Oh, she's cool as ice. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, she's cool, calm, collected. Yeah, she brings me peace when I'm in the streets. And then you go and you just pop up with Jennifer Lopez. That's crazy. That's even more outrageous when I seen that video on Facebook when Holly Berry kissed old girl's husband, talking about something. Oh, you know how it is, just kidding. No, just where do they do that at? When you just go in and smack a kiss with somebody's husband's lips? Like, I don't know what it is, but for some reason, anytime somebody mentions Hollywood, it's some crazy, freaky stuff going on. Like they say, with the kids from Disney Channel turned out weird, Raven Simone turned out weird, Orlando Brown turned out to be a weirdo. Justin Bieber was cool at first, and then he started being weird. I'm just like, I know he's not Disney Channel, but people just start acting or being weird. All these people that were huge Disney Channel stars, they end up killing somebody or they being weird. I feel like it is something going on in Hollywood. A lot of people want to be famous. I don't think famous is what you want to be. If you want to be famous, work for yourself where you don't have to depend on anybody else, where you have to sign a contract and you have to be under somebody. Like, I don't like that, because what it looks like is that Diddy is using fear to keep people under his thumb. Like, if you don't listen to me, you either gonna be poor, you're gonna suffer, or I'm going to get rid of you entirely, and I don't have to worry about you. And he uses that to install fear in people, like he did the photographer. Oh, I'm going to follow you, or I'm going to do this to you, I'm going to end your career. And he didn't even have the courage to tell Kim Porter that they're not dating anymore.
Kim said the worst part of it all was that everyone, anytime she was around people, they would just keep asking her, "Oh, Kim, are you all right?" She said, quote, "I just hated that. They were talking to me like I was just really crushed. I have kids. I'm a grown woman." According to some sources, Kim refused to acknowledge the fact that Diddy was dating JLo. She left. She broke up with him. She's no longer dating him, but she didn't confront him. She never mentioned JLo. She just broke it off. And sources say that drove him absolutely batshit crazy.
She don't care.
She didn't let
He liked her peace.
Right?
No. Her former attorney would later state, she knew he was sleeping with other women, but she was very jealous of JLo. How could you not be? But Kim was like a Disney princess, really, one of the most beautiful women I'd ever met. But the relationship wasn't real. That's what Kim and Diddy say. Yeah, that's what they both state after the fact. Kim says that relationship with Jennifer Lopez wasn't real. The world just saw the bright lights and camera, but I knew what was really going on. He was still in love with me. In a previous interview, Kim stated, he still called 50, 60 times a day. It was like my life was not my own. He was very, very intrusive. And they were public. They went to the 2000 Grammy Awards together, where JLo wore that insane green Versace dress that
Look at it, look at it.
Yes.
The one that started a Google image search.
Yes, okay. I don't even know the story behind that.
Yeah, apparently this is so many people were looking up that photo. Like Google created the image search tab.
Oh, wow.
Because of that photo.
Huh.
Yeah, they were an iconic couple. So from the outside, they seem like they're both in love. But again, according to Kim and Diddy, they were not. Diddy corroborates all of this by stating the whole time he was with JLo, he could not stop thinking about Kim Porter. And he also kind of blames the cheating on Kim by stating, you know, I'm used to applause when I walk into the room. And Kim was just too cool. I would tell her, I guess I'll just go be with someone who will take care of me the way I want to be taken care of, who will be a little more aggressive. That did not do the trick. And quote, Kim wasn't really conforming to how I wanted her to conform. So dating JLo was his statement to Kim. He later states, Jennifer was my perfect match in terms of energy. I thought, I'll test the waters and hopefully Kim will see I'm serious and come running after me. Except she didn't. According to Diddy, all he could think about during this entire time was Kim. He said, with Jennifer, I was attracted to someone who had the same energy as me, but that isn't necessarily the best. Because I'm so aggressive, the best energy for me is someone who slows me down, makes me feel like I can breathe. It's hard for me to breathe, but when I'm around Kim, I feel like I can do that. Apparently, the Grammys event, where I was telling you that JLo wore that insane Versace dress, okay, Kim was watching the Grammys with her friend, and she casually just said, I guarantee Diddy will call me before the credits roll. Sure enough, he calls her at the Grammys that he's with Jennifer Lopez. And I'm sure, but this is probably the worst 14 hours of Jennifer Lopez's life, when she gets arrested with Diddy in connection to a shooting. As they're dating, both of them get arrested in New York City for a shooting that happens at a club. Diddy had been at this club with JLo, Shine, which is like a musical artist that he had just signed, I believe, and his bodyguard, Anthony Wolf Jones. The four of them are at a club when an argument breaks out, and somehow that escalates to shots being fired. Ultimately, 3 people get shot. There are witnesses from the club that are certain that they saw Diddy holding a gun in his hand. Diddy's protege, Shine, was also holding a gun. And according to a witness, that's what the witness remembers, but they fell to the ground because they had been shot in the shoulder. Another bystander, she had nothing to do with the initial fight. She doesn't even know these people. Her name is Natanya Rubin. She was shot in the face by Diddy, she claims. It said that in the ER, before she passed out, she said, I was shot by Puffy. Thankfully, she survived. And
who got in fight with who?
There was just like a bar brawl. It was like a fight, and they just started shooting.
Diddy got into an argument with like bar goers?
I believe his musical protege and some people got into slight arguments, and then all these guns got whipped out in Manhattan and shots were fired. Thankfully, Natanya survived, and her story has been consistent for the past 20-something years. She's always said, I watched him. I watched Puffy. I saw him with my own eyes shoot, and it went through my nose. Like the bullet went to her nose.
How is she doing right now?
Not well. She's doing interviews because now in 2024, people finally believe her.
What?
Now, Shine, the 18-year-old musician, gets arrested at the club. Diddy and JLo had already left by the time that cops come. They ran straight to the car. Side note, some allege that Diddy zipped out of there, leaving his girlfriend behind. But either way, they both end up in the car being chased by NYPD. I think they run like 11 traffic lights before they're finally pulled over. And inside the car, some sources allege inside JLo's purse was the gun because Diddy would make her... Anyway, long story short, there's a lot of allegations that Diddy was the shooter. They all get arrested. JLo's charges are dropped. Now it's just Diddy, his bodyguard, and his musical protege, Shine. Now, Diddy is represented by a famous attorney, Johnny L. Cochran Jr.
Yeah,
This guy's resume is absolutely unhinged. His attorney has since passed, but he used to rep O.J. Simpson, Michael Jackson against the child molestation accusations. He repped Tupac, and now he's repping Diddy in this trial. Not this one in 2024, but the one in the shooting. Now, their defense was stating that, yes, he was there. Yes.
You know how horrible that has to feel when you know you're a shooter and you're telling people I was there, I know who got shot, and then they don't believe you, and it takes until 2024 to 2025 for them to be like, oh, okay, we believe you now. Now tell us your story. Like, no, bro, I've been telling you this story for the past 8, 9, 10 years. Like, why weren't you listening until now? You know what I mean? And it's very sad to say, because if that happened today, if I went out and shot a bank and I shot somebody, they'd be like, what does he look like? He did what? He was wearing what? And they'll go on a wild world search manhunt looking for you. But if you tell us somebody, oh, I was shot by Taylor Swift, they'll go like, man, Taylor Swift didn't shoot you, man. Come on, man. Taylor Swift, bad blood Taylor Swift? Like, she wouldn't do that. Like, no, bro. I saw it. It was her. Kelsey was right there in the passenger seat. He had AK-47.
Yes, he pulled out the gun. Yes, he fired the gun, okay? But he shot it to the ceiling as a warning sound for everyone to get down, get quiet, calm down. Every shot after that actually injured people, that's got to be Shine. That's got to be 18-year-old musical artist right there, of course. And the only reason that they're all saying, all these witness testimonies are coming out saying that it was Diddy is because Diddy's the one with the money. So they're going to file civil lawsuits because they want the money. Ultimately, Diddy gets acquitted. So does the bodyguard. But Shine gets 10 years in prison for assault, gun possession, and reckless endangerment. Somebody has to be held responsible, and it can't be Diddy. Which, side note, he was always pictured walking around in silk suits during his trial. Other times he'd be wearing clothes from his own clothing line, Sean John. There would be people outside the courthouse with signs that read, "Hip hop needs you, keep Puffy here." After the verdict is read, Diddy would tell the reporters, "I give all my glory to God. If it wasn't for God, I wouldn't be able to walk out of here. I want to thank my mother for being by my side every day." And a lot of people have...
You mean if it wasn't for money and fear tactics and threatening people, you wouldn't be out there today? Don't try to throw God in your shenanigans.
Stated, that sounds like an award speech.
Not my God.
All the people, all my fans, my staff, all the people in New York, everybody that prayed for me all over the world, thank you. I just feel so grateful today. I feel blessed.
Perfect.
Shine would eventually be deported back to Belize in 2009. He would say in a podcast, Diddy's lawyers were here to secure a not guilty verdict by any means. He is a $100 million corporation, and they looked at me like I was the enemy.
Wow.
After the shooting, Diddy and JLo stayed together a bit longer, but it's really only a matter of time. It's alleged by insiders that once Diddy left JLo in the club like that after the shooting, she was over him. She was like, I am so done. But while they're dating, another incident takes place in 2000. There's this massive wedding in Italy for L.A. Reid, the former CEO of Epic Records. Now, given L.A. Reid's status in the industry, everybody's going to be there, including Shakir Stewart. He's a music executive. Most notably, he worked at Def Jam Records. He's actually a very big player in the world. He was responsible for signing artists like Beyonce, Ciara, and Rick Ross. He's at this wedding in Italy, and if his mother's allegations are correct, he may have potentially been dating Kim Porter. Since Diddy is in a very public relationship with JLo, why wouldn't Kim Porter move on too? I mean, it's said that Diddy, who is also a guest at the wedding, finds Shakir's hotel room, bursts in through the door.
Finds whose?
Shakir Stewart's hotel room, Kim's alleged boyfriend at the time. And in a fit of rage that Kim Porter had moved on, You know, just like he allegedly had with JLo, he grabs a chair and slams it over Shakir Stewart's head. Shakir's mom said about the whole incident, Diddy left him bleeding on the hotel floor in Italy. He had to have stitches, and then Diddy threatened him. I'm gonna kill you. That's when I said, you need to get out of this business. This man is crazy. Diddy has always denied that this has ever happened, but a few people that have attended the wedding corroborated the story to Rolling Stone. Diddy's former bodyguard, Gene Deal, says, Kim couldn't have nobody. Kim couldn't have nobody. Diddy, Puff, could do whatever he wanted to do. Brother Love could be whoever he wanted to be. If Kim ever tried to get with somebody, Puff would interfere with them. Or
Bro, men always like that. They're like, yeah, I cheated on you. So what? Yeah, I had 5 or 6, 7 girls. And they're like, well, I did too. The woman be like, well, I slept with this person one time. Dude be like, could you do this to me, bro? We've been together for 4 years. We got a kid, bro. Like, nah, bro, keep that same energy, bro. You did 5 or 6 times one time. Now you blood hurt. Oh, now it's the end of the world. Now you tucked in your blanket, eating Rocky Road and watching reruns of Martin and Gina. Like, nah, bro, you did it. You lay in the bed. You made it.
her for trying to be with them. He wouldn't let that happen unless he was bringing them into the picture. Kim couldn't go nowhere. Kim couldn't be in a relationship. She couldn't be at the clubs. If he called Kim's house, she had to be there. Again, these are just allegations, but another allegation is that he had Kim Porter's whole house bugged and wired, and that's how he knew that she was seeing Shakir Stewart, and he would hire PIs to follow her around. But again, the whole thing is just beyond bizarre and infuriating because he can do whatever he wants, treat Kim allegedly like shit, but nothing happens to him. Now, side note, I don't know, again, if this is true. This is just another allegation. But one insider states that Kim had told her about how they broke up and, quote, Diddy put her up in this apartment building on the Upper West Side. It was an old building, and she said her apartment was infested with rats. She said she came home one day, tried to put on her boots, and there was rat feces on them. And she was just like, I gotta get out of this place. Which a former attorney for Kim backs it up by stating he didn't want to pay her rent, get a nice apartment for her, nothing. So truly, he just treats her like shit every time they break up, is the allegation. And probably while they're dating, who knows? Now, the anonymous source continues in the allegations. I mean, I remember just her being the sweetest, kind, warm, and caring person. Diddy was a controlling narcissist, and I could see why he would be attracted to someone like Kim. That's in 2000 at L.A. Reid's wedding in Italy. The summer of 2001, something else will allegedly take place, but we, the public, won't know about it until this year. Then, 25-year-old Talia Graves says that she was panicked. She woke up, found herself tied up.
Who's Talia Graves?
She's just a woman who woke up tied up on a couch in Diddy's studio. And all she remembers is she had just met with Diddy and one of Diddy's bodyguards, Joe Sherman. And the only reason she was even meeting with them is because she was dating one of Diddy's employees, an executive at Bad Boy Entertainment. Diddy called her specifically to come and talk to him about her boyfriend's performance issues. She thought it was weird, I'm sure, but maybe he's trying to sit her down and be like, are you distracting your boyfriend from work? Why is he so distracted? She just wants to help her boyfriend. So she goes to meet with Diddy. They urge her to drink a glass of wine. She drinks it, and that's it. She knocks out, and now she's waking up, and her arms are tied behind her back, allegedly, according to the lawsuit. Now, Diddy and Joe Sherman, the bodyguard, this is what she says. Her lawsuit alleges that they essay her from that point forward. She states that she was crying for help the whole time, and nobody came. According to the devastatingly explicit lawsuit, quote, plaintiff, so plaintiff is going to be Talia and Mr. Combs is Diddy, so I'm just going to replace it to make it easier. Talia screamed out in pain, but Diddy continued to violently, anally rape her. He physically overpowered her, smashing her head down on the pool table. During the brutal attack, Talia vomited into her mouth and on the table. At one point, she involuntarily defecated. Diddy was undeterred. He wiped himself off and applied more lubricant and without any acknowledgement of Talia's distress, proceeded to essay her. The lawsuit states she experienced intense pain and burning sensations before losing consciousness again. The next thing she knew, she woke up on the couch to, allegedly, Joe Sherman slapping her across the face, forcing his private parts into her mouth. She states her face and wrists were bruised, she was in severe pain and distress, and when he was done, she quickly grabbed her clothes in fear that Diddy would come back and just ran out of there. She was terrified at the time to report Diddy because it's Diddy, but also she claimed she was in a very nasty custody battle over her child, and she was scared that this would make her lose her chances. She told her boyfriend, the executive, but allegedly he tells her not to do anything because you're going to ruin my career. So for the next few decades,
What?
she states that she bore the consequences, having panic attacks, self-exit thoughts, depression, and she—
Your career? You chose your career over your woman? Wow.
She thought she was moving on until November of 2023. She learns for the first time that over 20 years ago, what happened to her had been filmed. And that video of her being essayed was being shown to multiple men at Bad Boy Entertainment and was used to publicly degrade and humiliate her. It felt like all this trauma that they allegedly inflicted on her was solely for Diddy to allegedly feel like he humiliated his own executive, like some sort of power move. Like, see what I can do to your girlfriend?
How did she find out about that part?
The lawsuit claims her ex-boyfriend told her. Just like mentioned it in passing, I guess. The other executives at Bad Boy had seen it, and they all basically allegedly slut-shamed Talia, the victim, and told the alleged boyfriend of hers to break up with her because of the video, because she was a victim. But this doesn't come out until 2024. The alleged essay takes place in 2001. And now, in 2003, where we are in the story, Kim Porter and Diddy officially get back together.
Oh my
2 years
goodness.
after Talia's assault, they get back together. Alleged assault, legally speaking. They're seen at a lot of high-profile events together. They're spotted strolling on the beach together. I mean, it seems like this time around, Diddy is trying really hard. They're constantly seen spending quality time attending these high-profile music awards. That same year, though, another incident occurs that we won't know about until this year. Cipriani's is one of the more famous restaurants in New York City, and Crystal McKinney, a model signed with IMG Models, is invited there to meet with this huge fashion designer, Sean Diddy Combs of the Sean John clothing line. He had just launched his Sean John clothing line, and they're doing like $450 million in retail sales.
What?
Yeah. This is gonna be the next huge step in Crystal's career. There's no connection like Diddy in the industry. She had to fly all the way from Miami to New York City, but that's fine. But there's more rules. The designer for Sean John tells her that she needs to go to the hair salon, make sure to touch up her roots so that she remains fully platinum blonde. She needs to get her extensions, and the clothing to meet Diddy in must be a black leather coat with a fur hood, a translucent chiffon beige V-neck shirt, a fur-lined handbag, and jewel-encrusted jeans. It felt a little specific in particular, but it's fine. She shows up to Cipriani's. She's seated directly across from Diddy, and almost instantly, he's hitting on her. Quote, coming on in a sexually suggestive manner. He keeps telling her that she's beautiful, her eyes are gorgeous, you're gonna make it one day as a model, you're gonna be big one day, especially because I'm gonna help you, I'm gonna get you the connections. And he's just nonstop whispering these things to her, refilling her wine glass nonstop. He gives her his number and tells her, call me later tonight. That night, he instructs her to meet him at his New York City studio, at which point there's a bunch of people drinking there, just smoking a joint, drinking. She smokes weed, so Crystal accepted, but that was not weed. Supposedly, she believes it's weed laced with a narcotic and maybe some other intoxicating substances, because one hit, that's it. She's like, that is crazy, because she's a weed smoker, so this is not weed. One hit and she's feeling not well, and he tells her, you're being way too uptight. Keep drinking, keep drinking. She said she feels like she's floating in the air. Eventually, she's unable to control her body. She tries to go to use the restroom, but allegedly Diddy follows her in and essays her. He forces her head down and commands her to, quote, suck it. She refused, but he allegedly forced her anyway. And she states that he just left once he was done getting what he wanted. She gets up, ends up losing consciousness. The next thing she remembers is just in a cab heading out of the studio. Years later, Crystal would end up hospitalized after a self-exit attempt. And it's hard, she states in the lawsuit, because everywhere she would go, she would be reminded of her alleged assayer. He's everywhere, on TV, music, film, everywhere, being celebrated, everywhere, and she can't escape. She said, I had my whole future mapped out that was stolen from me. Being essayed and having no recourse is so painful. I felt like I was dying.
All the other people at the studio is going to be like, what? He didn't do that. Diddy wouldn't do anything. So it's kind of like your word against 8 to 9 or maybe even more people that was there. And who knows what else happened when she fully blacked out. That's some scary stuff, man. It's like you don't even know what you're walking into, and it's sad because everybody else that he did, like, he S8 and stuff, are too scared to say anything, so you can't even help the ones that's meeting this guy. And then if you did tell them, they're probably not going to believe you. What? He's everywhere. It's him. He's on Sean John. He's in Vibe magazine. He wouldn't do it like that. Dude has a history of pointing guns and shit, and just like he gets off every time, and it makes you wonder, like, who is this dude to be escaping crimes and doing all this and that and the third and getting away with it? It's scary. And this is just 45 minutes into the video, and there's still 5 or 8 more videos to go that we still have to watch together. So if you have to take a break, by all means, take a break. Again, these videos are going to be an hour long because some of these videos are just too heavy for me. I'm not even going to hold you. I know I'm this big, masculine, strong guy that you just think I'm amazing and all that. I get it, but
every day, you know, I did not have the strength to come forward yet. I hope that by speaking out, I can help other victims come forward and seek justice. The public would find out about Crystal's allegations decades later. But she's not the only one suffering. The same year in 2003, while Diddy is flaunting Kim Porter on his arm, getting praised for raising $2 million for the New York City education system, winning BET Awards, MTV Awards, getting nominated for Grammys, Jane Doe is 17 years old in 2003. That means she's in the 11th grade. And she was, according to the allegations brought forth in her lawsuit, just offered a ride on a private jet. Like, I don't know many people that would turn that down, especially when the private jet is being chartered by P. Diddy. In the lawsuit, Jane Doe alleges that she met with Harvey Pierre. This is the eventual president of Diddy's company, Bad Boy Entertainment. He was one of the top executives from the get-go. Jane Doe meets with Harvey in this lounge in Detroit, and she doesn't know who he is, but he keeps telling her, "Do you know my best friend is Diddy?"
So this guy, the president, right? He works for Diddy. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So Diddy is more in charge than the president.
Oh, yes. Okay. So to the point where he calls Diddy and is like, "Hey, this girl at the bar doesn't really believe me, I guess. So here you go." She hears Diddy on the phone, and over the phone, Diddy allegedly convinces her to get on a private jet to come see him in New York. He convinces her, and I'm sure she's excited. And as they're getting ready to leave, she alleges Harvey Pierre asked her to come into the bathroom with him, where she alleges that he was smoking crack cocaine from a Pepsi can. And once he was done, he took off his pants and ordered her to, quote, suck it, and forcibly shoved her head down. Side note, the law firm representing her is the same law firm that represented Cassie Ventura. So I'm just saying, it is up to a lot of law firms to do their due diligence to make sure that the clients have strong cases. So do that with what you will, right? Now, following that, she alleges in the lawsuit that they drove to the airport, boards this private jet, flies into New York City where there's 2 black SUVs waiting for them. They go to Daddy's house recording studio, which is owned by Bad Boy, Daddy's house, where she alleges that he was pushing her to drink and smoke. So it's 4 of them in there. Diddy, Mr. Pierre, Harvey Pierre, and a third unknown person. She doesn't even know the name of this person. And they keep telling her how hot and sexy she is. Eventually, Diddy leads her, allegedly, into the bathroom in the studio and allegedly assaults her over the sink. She states she did not consent, and according to the lawsuit, he told her that he could not orgasm and asked her to squeeze his nipples as hard as she could to get him off. By this point, she says she's coming in and out of consciousness, and her next memory was waking up to see the third assailant starting to essay her in the restroom. She kept telling him to stop, but he did not. Once he left, Harvey Pierre allegedly came in to essay her, and she recalls having a hard time breathing because of how he was forcing himself onto her. She was in pain. It wasn't till they were, quote, more or less done with her, she fell to the bathroom floor and crawled into a fetal position. She doesn't even remember anything else, but vaguely, she's just on a plane back to Michigan. When this lawsuit was filed in the end of 2023, Harvey Pierre has denied the accusations against him, stating, "This is a tale of fiction. I've never participated in or witnessed nor heard of anything like this ever. These disgusting allegations are false and a desperate attempt for financial gain. I will vigorously protect my reputation and defend my name. Those who know me recognize these claims are not true." Diddy's attorneys filed a motion to dismiss, calling it, quote, "a decades-old tale, a baseless claim in an effort to extract an undeserved financial recovery. Fiction, a desperate attempt." But this is what Jane Doe alleges happened in 2003, the same year Diddy is back together with Kim Porter. And it's very likely that Kim Porter did not know about these incidents, because Gene, the former bodyguard, states Kim would have incidents with Diddy where he would allegedly convinced Kim to partake in group activities and do things that she did not want to do. Have intimate relations with men that she did not want to. It's the way that he describes it and alleges is similar to Cassie's freak-offs. I don't know. And it appears that Diddy had a high level of control over Kim's life and what she was privy to, so likely she didn't know any of this. One supposed industry professional alleges that they saw Kim and Diddy at the 2003 MTV Awards red carpet. And she claims, and again, this is just an allegation, but I remember specifically how controlling he was over her. He was literally just sitting there staring at her hair. He wasn't happy with it. The way that the curl went one direction, he was like, I don't care if I miss the whole show. We're not leaving until we get this curl right. About her hair. She claims on the inside, she just thought, wow, this guy's so controlling. The same insider shares a story that allegedly takes place in New York City. Again, just an allegation, but one time I went to their Park Avenue apartment to work. Kim Porter had this jewelry person arrive and she picked out jewels for the evening to wear. They were going to an event and it took hours to get her ready, and then she kept waiting for Diddy to come home so that they could go to the event together. We were sitting there for hours, but he never came. So she never went out to the event. She just went to sleep instead. Mark Curry, a former artist signed with Bad Boy, said, their relationship was a lot. I remember Kim used to go through a lot of stuff. If you live around them, you get to see the toxic relationship. I think every relationship he had that I experienced around him was like that. Gene Deal, again, the former bodyguard, states that throughout the years, Kim always had suspicious injuries, broken noses, bruises, ankle injuries. Interestingly enough, Gene Deal also alleges that Diddy was never aggressive with Jennifer Lopez. He states that JLo's mom already hated Diddy, and it said that he wasn't willing to handle the backlash if he were to put his hands on her. Gene insinuates that he likely knew if she told anyone, it would be over for him.
It's like he's picking people that he knows is gonna, like, they're not gonna say anything, or he knows that like he can get away with it. If you're like easy, not like easy target, but more like, I guess you can call them like easy targets, right? Or they call them like soft targets and hard targets. Like, it would be easier for him to assault me than it would be to assault like Patrick Mahomes or something like that, right? He would never get away with that. But he would get away with assaulting me, you know what I mean? Who I'm gonna tell? Ain't nobody gonna believe me, you know what I mean? So it's like, the dude is crazy, but he also knows his limitations. So it's kind of like he's a crazy smart person, and it's nothing worse than somebody that's crazy and smart, and somebody that you wouldn't even think that he would do something like that. Even now, like, I can't even imagine him doing something like that. So imagine back then when he was like up there and he was like a celebrity, like how much harder it was for them to even believe this, you know what I mean? So that's insane that he never did that. I wonder if JLo's going to say anything about it.
The way that Gene describes it is, it seems like he is very fond of Kim Porter, and I think he means this with as much enlightening, insightful information as he can allegedly give. But he's stating that Diddy knows who to mess with. JLo is not dependent on him. She was already a star by this point. Whereas the women that he does physically go after, allegedly, are women that are dependent on him.
Yeah, I mean, that's typical behavior for someone like, you know, just all about the power.
He would even say in an interview that Kim was in with him while they're dating, he says, do you really think God meant for a man to just have one wife? Or a woman to just have one husband? Do you really think God meant it that way? Kim snaps back. Do you really want me having sex with another man? You want that to happen? No, but God made us different. She explains, that is such a cop-out. I could just be like you, but I just choose not to be. Well, sometimes things happen, and this is the most monogamous I've ever been in my life. That's all I'm trying to say. Kim would later tell the reporter, he's giving, gentle, and sensitive, especially with me. He's really a good guy with a big heart. I get to see that, and I'm really thankful I get to see that. Until one day, Diddy comes home, and Kim Porter is gone. So they get back together in 2003. Around the end of 2007, she leaves. Unbeknownst to Diddy, while he's out of town at the BET Awards show, Kim calls her closest girlfriends over. They pop open a bottle of wine. Cheers, clink, it's time to pack. Kitchen table, nursery furniture, the cars, everything is leaving with Kim. I hope that he came home to an empty home, but I'm not sure how much she took. After 12 years, Kim Porter finally walks out on Diddy. 12 years on and off. She's done being his romantic partner. I mean, she will always be the mother to his children. They will co-parent, but she is so done. A little over 10 months prior to her moving out, Kim Porter was pregnant with Diddy's twins. They had rekindled their on and off relationship again, like I said, and they had done all these interviews. They were in a very public relationship, and she had done recent interviews after getting pregnant about, you know, I know Diddy like I know my kids, and just talking about how what they had was different. And then one day, Kim's friend calls her, and she sounds uncomfortable, I'm sure, and she tells her, basically, Diddy had cheated on her with another woman, and that woman had recently just gave birth to Diddy's child.
Do we know who?
Sarah Chapman, and she gave birth to Chance Combs. She was born just like 5-6 months before the twins were born. To which Kim had enough. She never confronted him while she was pregnant. She just said, it's not an original script. He's not the first man who has cheated. He's not the first man who's had a baby outside of the relationship. He's not the originator of this. But at this point in my life, I have girls now. It's a different program. The worst part is he didn't tell her until after she gave birth. So she's giving him the time to fess up, own up, because he has a literal newborn baby. So just tell her. Sarah gives birth to Chance Combs July of 2006. The twins are born December of 2006. She says, he told me he may have gotten himself in a situation and he may have fathered another child outside the relationship. Kim said she already knew and responded, really? Well, I already knew, and I'm glad you decided to be a man. I was like, dude, this is so whack. I can't even respect you right now. And for me, once the respect is gone, I'm not even listening to you anymore. Later, the same magazine, Essence, will ask her, you left in quite a dramatic way, you know, taking the furniture, the cars, leaving. They ask, why did it go down like that? Because there was no other way. You think he would have let me walk out the door? He wouldn't have wanted me to go. Were you scared? No, not at all. But I wanted to be dramatic. I wanted him to know I wasn't breaking up with him for 2 weeks or maybe leaving for 2 days. If I pack up everything, twins and all, it means I'm out. Puffy's an action person, not a talk person. So I had to have an action. Telling him, babe, I'm leaving, just wasn't going to do it. In another interview, she states, mainly I'm a mom first, so that is the most important to me. So everything else kind of comes after that. And it seems like that's exactly what she planned on doing. Focus on her career, her children after the breakup. In an interview with Essence, Kim was asked, if Diddy called you today and said, I want to get married right now, would you? She says, I would say no. And not because I don't want to get married, but because he's not ready for marriage. When I get married, I want to stay married. I want both parties to be on the same page at the same time and to leave a certain type of behavior behind. That's a commitment I don't think he's ready for. Diddy would also state around this time, Kim is an incredible mother to our children. We've been part of each other's lives for many years, and I've always admired her courage and strength. We're the best of friends. You know, I got 3 girls, 3 boys, and they're really kind, great people. They got a lot of love in their hearts. I'm the luckiest man in the world.
So she walked out just one day after finding out that Diddy was cheating.
Yes.
But Diddy never went after her, like, you know how, you know, he's very controlling.
Yes.
He's very, yeah.
It seems like he did.
He did, but she's like, no, I'm done. Don't come for me. And okay.
That's the allegation. It seems like he did. Yeah. Now, Kim also lets it be known that they were on amicable terms. She said that they're still friends. He calls every single day. She told her reporter, you know, we're committed to our children, even if we couldn't commit to each other. I mean, it's clear none of them want to say too much publicly about what happened. And like Kim said, she's going to focus on her career. And perhaps one of that is acting. She was in a pilot episode for a show called Single Ladies, where her character is a snarky former, quote, video vixen.
Video what?
Video vixen, I guess, is talent that's hired for music videos, typically. Side note, a few netizens have been reposting this scene as they think it's just an eerie coincidence. Kim's character on the show says, and again, this is a fictional show,
I found God, and he told me to make a change. So I'm a writer now. I'm writing a tell-all book about my years of being a video vixen. I got lots of stories about lots of rappers, and I'm about to get paid.
I am in no way of insinuating that taken down book is true or not. So far, there isn't strong evidence of how the author received the hard drives, so I do question its validity. But if the lawsuits filed against Diddy are proven to be true, it does seem that Kim Porter would have a lot to say. Gene, the former bodyguard, would even say the violence towards women was a consistent pattern in his belief and opinion. He alleges that he heard that Diddy had beat Misa Hilton, the first mother of his child, Justin's mother, so hard that she allegedly once was so scared she crawled under a car to get away from him. According to Gene's allegations, he just does not understand how someone beats someone to that point that they desperately crawl under a car. That level of violence is a lot, which again doesn't mean that Kim wrote a tell-all. Speaking of Misa Hilton, Justin's mother, April Lampros is another victim who has since filed a lawsuit against Diddy. She had received an invite in the mail, a Father's Day celebration for Diddy after the birth of his first biological child, Justin Combs, that he shares with Misa Hilton. So this is before he's dating Kim Porter.
So this is the 90s?
Yes.
Okay.
Dear friends, join us in celebrating the original Bad Boys' first Father's Day celebration. For this occasion, there is a dress code. No jeans or sneakers will be permitted. It's a Father's Day party. April is a student from FIT, the Fashion Institute of Technology, and this is all awkward because she is allegedly seeing Diddy romantically, and Diddy just had a child with Misa Hilton, and the whole thing is weird.
Okay.
April Lampros states in her lawsuit that he was just love bombing her constantly, bringing her gifts, bringing her to the studio to impress her. Even a month after the Father's Day event, she was invited to see performances by Usher and Notorious B.I.G. thanks to Diddy. And at first it all seems sweet. He just seems like he always wants to be around, flying her from New York to Atlanta to Miami, just wherever he was, he wanted her to be around. But then he told her that they have to keep their relationship a secret because she alleges, quote, he did not want anyone to know that he was seeing her because she's a white woman. The lawsuit goes into detail about 4 alleged essay incidents. The first, April alleges she went to meet with Diddy at a bar in Soho. He introduces her to a female friend of his. She remembers having a few sips of her drinks, and they all left for a hotel nearby, and she just had this feeling of uneasiness in the hotel room. She remembers laying in bed when Diddy forced himself on top of her. She leaves, and she told herself she would never talk to Diddy again, but he continues love bombing her and telling her how advantageous her life will be, her career will take off as long as Diddy is on her side. So, I mean, she's studying to get into the fashion world, which he is a big prominent figure of at that time. She thought that perhaps the first incident was maybe she misremembered. Then it happened again, the second incident. She alleges that this happened in a parking garage near his apartment in the city. They were going to dinner. Diddy's a little drunk. And as they're headed towards his car, he just grabs her out of nowhere, forces her to kneel on the concrete in the parking lot, unzips his pants, and forces her to perform orally. She said that she could see the parking attendant witness this horrific assault, but Diddy allegedly did not care. And once he's done, she's crying and he just tells her, get up. She states once again she tried to distance herself and then it didn't work. Then the third time, she alleges at this point, Diddy and Kim Porter had started dating. She alleges in the lawsuit, again, this is an allegation, that she was called to his apartment where Kim Porter and 2 other people were there. They all go to the club that night, and when they get back, they continue drinking. He insists that Kim Porter and April take ecstasy, is what the lawsuit alleges. She said he essentially forced her to take the pill. He was forcing his hand so far into her throat, she almost gagged. And even afterwards, he's checking under their tongues like a psych ward nurse. She alleges in the lawsuit that Diddy forced the 2 of them, April and Kim, to engage in intimate acts while he sat watching and self-pleasuring. Towards the end, he, quote, sat close by masturbating for some time before pushing Kim Porter off Miss Lampros, April, and forcing himself inside and essaying April. April said that she just went completely numb and emotionally checked out. And it wasn't until Diddy kicked her out a few hours later that she felt all this disgust and shame. And she alleges the crazy thing is, even after all of this, he had the audacity to invite April to Kim Porter's birthday party. The 4th time, she alleges, was after he broke up with Kim Porter to date JLo. And while he's actively in a public relationship with JLo, he forces her to his apartment and tries to essay her once more. She manages to leave. And she thought that was it. But just like Talia, she said in 2023, April's boyfriend states that he was just approached by this random redacted man. So they redacted the name, but it's clear that they know who told him along the lines of, you really should reconsider dating that girl, because I personally saw videos of her having intimate relations with Diddy. April alleges that's how she discovered he had filmed some of the encounters. She didn't know that he had filmed it, and she didn't know that he had shown it to people. Other key allegations in her lawsuit are, Mr. Combs does not like the word no. Now, one significant detail, or I guess insignificant detail, would be a better description. In the lawsuit, April alleges, quote, Miss Lampros recalls Mr. Combs' penis being adolescently in both length and width. Eventually, after Kim Porter, Diddy goes on to have a very public relationship with Cassie Ventura. Gene Deal, the former bodyguard, says, I didn't know Cassie, but I knew someone like Cassie. I knew Kim Porter.
I'm going to end it right here, man. Oh, man, this was a lot to take in. Like I told you guys, I'm going to be doing these in 1 hour intervals. If you didn't see it or hear it earlier, take a break, go outside, take a walk if you have to, watch something to get your mind off this, because this was a lot. I did not know it was this many people. I didn't even know he had that many kids. I didn't know he was with April, and then the yacht attendant, Kim, and JLo, and like Talia. It's just, man. And this is only the 2nd video. I don't know if I'm ready for this, to be honest with y'all, but yeah, man, this video is by Rod Mango. If you don't want to hear me react to the rest of it, you want to go watch the whole video for yourself, make sure you swoop down that description box. Call link, watch the video in entirety because I was pausing, stopping, and talking through the whole thing. If you guys are new to the channel, my name is Zems, and welcome to the Crow's Nest. But again, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. And if no one told you today, I love you.